And we are going to have a conversation about artists and label issues in Ghana. How do we fix this issue? And I've said it 1,000 times that we need investments in the creative space, and we need that international recognition. Locally, internationally, we need everything. And that conversation about investing in talent is something that we talk about, that investors must come in, not like they have to, it's a must to come in. But then there's always that artist record label issues that go sour, and it's a problem. And this afternoon we have YAW BOADU-AYEBOAFOH, who is a music executive. I mean, last year he was joining us via Zoom, but this afternoon he decided to come into the studio for us to have a conversation. YAW, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Yourselves?
I'm also
You're
good.
doing
You're
good.
good. You know, whenever I see you, I'm excited.
You have to be.
Yeah, he's going to give us some teas.
Yes, and he always gives free tickets. Anyways, yeah. Before we go deeper, we delve deeper into this whole artist-label relationship. How do we solve it? Let me first get your take on this. So the music business is evolving.
Yeah.
And like I said, we're at a point where we need investors. Does every musician need the support or the assistance of investors or record label to come in, especially record label, not necessarily investor, but a record label to come to help to support and make sure that their career is taken on the next level?
Well, artists don't necessarily need record labels to strive, but it's all dependent on where you want to get to. So in terms of the music business, the structures you've come to meet, and currently you need to have your hands in every single department.
Yeah.
And that's where labels come in. Labels have that expertise. They have the workforce to work for you. So if you want to be huge, if you want to be a global star, you definitely need a label to support you. And it's not necessarily just, let's say, in a recording contract-wise, but in terms of you in publishing, even managerial, every single place you turn, you need a label that knows its job to support you, and you can't run away from it.
Okay. So an individual artist can have the numbers, have the viral videos on TikTok, on social media, but then it's still going to be difficult. The numbers cannot really give the artist everything that he or she expects.
Yes,
the
because
label has to come in.
Yes, because it's depending on what your aim is. So in Ghana, I think one of the things that happened is most of our top artists blew up independent. Sarkodie is independent, Shatawale is independent. You get me? But if they really want to take over the globe, then they need finances. And if they cannot kind of invest certain amount of money into their own career, then they need someone who's going to push in that money. So that's where the labels come in.
Yeah.
So even though we have big artists, you can realize that on the global scale, we're having a lot of difficulties reaching out. Stonebwoy had to sign to Def Jam
Yeah.
to see the next part of his plan.
Yeah.
So it's at this moment in time, if you want to pivot and go higher, you'd have to align with someone. It's either a label or, let's say, a distribution company that's ready to put in money into your craft.
Before Harriet comes in, do you see someone like Sarkodie also signing with a record label?
I doubt Sarkodie is going to sign, because I think he's expressed the view that he's a control freak in terms of he wants to be hands-on in everything he does. Labels do not allow you to be hands-on in everything you do. So I think he doesn't really want to relinquish that total control. But Sarkodie is signed to a label in terms of, I think it's publishing.
Publishing,
Yeah,
yeah.
In terms of publishing, he's signed to a label.
Publishing.
Yeah, because you can't do it.
Do that yourself, yeah.
But in terms of, let's say, a recording deal, I doubt Sarkodie is in the state of mind
To go for
for a deal, even though people want to see it happen.
Okay. I mean, if we're talking about artists and label issues, we need to know some of the challenges. So, I mean, as what you do, what are some of the challenges artists face in these labels or record labels?
Okay, so first things first, most of the artists usually sign these deals without thinking. Unfortunately, because of the excitement it comes with.
Yeah.
You know, as a new artist, no one is really giving you the time of day, and here are people ready to put in their money to invest in you.
Yeah.
So usually go ahead of yourself without thinking through. So when they present a contract, they rarely even look through. I think Olamide even shared the story when he signed Ashake. He said when he gave the Ashake the contract, Ashake was ready to sign there and there.
And he said, no, go get a lawyer.
Go and you get me.
Yeah.
So it's the excitement. Plus, you've been trying, nobody's helping. So someone's wanting to help, like in your mind, oh, the person they come support.
Yeah.
But they forget that business is business.
Yeah.
The main aim of a label is not to help an artist. It is to make money. And the way they make money is through the artist. So they are not helping you. That's their business model. They are making money out of it.
I like that.
So if you have a contract, at least have a second opinion. I know as a new artist, the contract will never favor you because you don't have value enough to negotiate a better deal. But then a lawyer or someone looking into the contract can kind of pinpoint certain clauses that can be taken out or revised that would be of benefit to you in the long run. I think that's what most people fail to do. And when they sign and the success comes in, they start to feel that the money is small, forgetting that they signed at the time they had 0 penny.
Yeah.
And they come out and complain a lot. So I think that's basically the major problem. Others to sign and the labels don't do anything for them but profit of their work. That one too is a factor that is there. And if you don't have anyone looking through a contract to have a release clause that allows you to exit when the label is failing to do what they are supposed to do, you are going to be in a slavery deal. And you work and people just chop from where they did not really suffer. So
I mean, talking about slavery deal, how can artists protect their freedom while signed to a record label? You remember this artist, when she was no longer signed on to a record label, they took over her Instagram. And even Kiss Daniel had to...
Malcolm to happen to him.
This female artist, she has this long...
Ghanaian?
Yeah, Ghanaian. She has this long... Sean.
Oh, okay.
And even Kiss Daniel had to change his name as well. How can artists, protect their freedom while signed on to a record label?
Basically, have a lawyer. So here's the thing. You need to have expertise. If you bring me a contract, I can, at this moment in time, I've seen so many contracts that I can actually advise. But the truth is, I'm not a lawyer. A lawyer might see something I might not see, even though I've seen plenty of contracts. Because it's their job. Their own is to interpret it and make sure that everything is by the books. So you can only protect yourself when you protect yourself in the contract. Because that is what is binding you and the label. So if you fail to get that right, every single thing you're going to get wrong. Because the contract is the guideline to your whole career with the person for the duration that you sign. And I understand why when people lose their accounts and things, people are like, oh, why? But here's the thing. If I invest into a brand, I'm also an owner of the brand. Like let's say the Kiss Daniel brand, when he used to use the normal Kiss. The former label had rights to the name. So since you are leaving the contract, usually it happens when the person leaves. It's not unamicable. They leave when the contract has not ended. Usually that's when there's this loss of fighting and infighting.
The disputes.
Because if your contract ends, your contract has ended. You can go with whatever you are left with. Because Wizkid had a contract with AME. He paid off his contract. Because there's always a way you can exit a contract using the legal means. So that's what made Kiss Daniel had to change his name. Sean had to lose her social media. Because they are all part of investments from the label. Once I'm putting money to verify you, sponsor. And sometimes it's not the artists who are actually managing the pages.
Yes. I mean, when the Malcolm Luna incident happened, that's when I realized that, hey, they can even take over your Instagram and your YouTube.
Everything.
After all the subscribers and the followers.
But that's the thing. You see the Malcolm Luna name or you see a name associated with it, but you don't even know who created that account. You don't know who has been investing and putting money to make sure that it gets to the level it has gotten to. You get me? How did Malcolm get verified? How much was paid? Was he the one who paid?
Charlie.
So all these are investments.
But you know what? Lawyers are not cheap. What if you can't afford a lawyer?
You see, that's... No, so you see, the beauty of life is we all have friends. And every single year, new lawyers are out. They are there looking for experience. They're all looking for experience. And you definitely, if you don't know a lawyer, you have a friend who knows a lawyer. You can always have a conversation. And also, the fact that people let paying be a headache for them shows their intent. Because if you want quality thing, you pay for quality stuff.
That's true.
You get me? And even if you cannot pay beforehand, lawyers are malleable. There's always a percentage that any future deals come, you
It will
can.
take.
Yeah, but unfortunately, with our mindset, if I'm like most lawyers do retainer, that's the cheapest form. Where you, if I'm not, I don't have a case, why should I have a lawyer?
Yeah.
Or this one is English, I can read it. When the consequences come, that's when they realize
You
that
have
they
to
should.
face
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
because every year we have lawyers coming up.
I mean,
They don't have work.
yeah, you know what? There's this cold war between Kwesiata and Grind Up, and it's been going on for some time now. We had Kwesiata here, I think,
Yeah.
2022, where he was seated there, and he made mention about the fact that they are hyenas and using all sorts of words. Then he drops the song Pain, and he says a lot of things. Kwesi is not really given us all the full details, but he said some things. Twitch over the week also said certain things on Twitter, and we've not heard anything from the side of Glenn or Big Homie that's Grind Up.
Yeah.
What do you make of the whole situation?
Well, ideally, I don't. I doubt Ground Up really needs to actually come and
Talk about it.
talk about it. Even if they're going to talk about it, is because of, let's say, in general business sense, maybe they need to tell their partners and stakeholders that they are safe to deal with. But the truth is, like I tell people, once you sign a contract, I no longer have sympathy for you.
You
Yeah.
don't have sympathy for
Yes.
them.
Wow.
Yes, because you had the chance to have someone look at the contract, review it before you sign. Once you are not coerced, you were not in a
Under duress.
Yes, you're not under duress. You are not under the influence when you signed, and you
Yeah.
signed it
Yeah.
with your mental capacity
Yeah.
intact. You have to face the consequences of your
Yeah.
action.
But yeah, let me cut in there. For them, they said it was a movement, and we all saw it.
Yeah.
Grind Up was a movement.
But they signed.
But it was a movement. So
Grind Up,
let's
Charlie.
take it from here. It was like a movement.
Yes.
And then later on, it became a label. Now, during the time that it was a movement, and it's not a label,
Yeah.
I'm thinking anything I sign, is it a contract that binds
Yes,
me?
it's-
Or I thought
yeah.
maybe I was too young, so let me sign.
Once you were 18 plus, you signed
Yeah.
it. It's binding. Plus, also, let's not forget, like the time you said we were movement. The time they were moving, who was paying for stuff?
I think per some of the
Yeah.
information, Glenn, someone was there putting
Well,
in the money.
someone was
and
paying.
everything.
Someone was
Yeah.
paying.
Yeah.
Someone's space was being used to record.
Yeah.
So when the money comes and the person is taking his or her share, it's different if, let's say I'll give you 10% and I'm giving you 5 instead of 10. I'm
Yeah.
cheating you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you sign the contract and it says I'm giving you 3%,
Yeah.
no matter the amount that comes, if it is 10 cedis, you're entitled to 3%. If it's
Yeah.
1 million, it's still the 3% now. I'm not going to say because it's 1 million, I have to give you more than 3% because the money is big. It's a binding contract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So once you've signed, you have no
You've
sympathy.
signed it.
I mean, let's not even forget
that's
the whole
that's
of
the Twitch,
Twitch forever
tweets
songs
there.
now.
Our
you see.
own songs now. You say
no
no,
be
we
right
write we know loud
Loud
because we
feel
feel say it's no need, but yo, stop the fool. I mean, Charlie,
So this poses, you see, this pose is problematic in the first place.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because if you say you don't need them, you wrote a song,
Yeah.
you don't need them.
Yeah.
You get me? Like it's a problematic statement for you even to feel you don't need them. That means you have no rights to it. You can't even go to court with this because you're already defeated. Do you get me? But I understand where Twitch is coming from. If they wrote the songs, at least they need to be acknowledged as writers. There's no problem acknowledging them as writers. So for that aspect, I'm going to be like on the artist's side.
Yeah.
But in terms of business-wise,
Yeah.
all this could have been solved if they had their publishing
Yeah.
sorted out.
Everything
Their publishers
sorted.
should be the one chasing the money,
Yeah.
not coming to public to just talk about it. But talking about it this way usually doesn't solve the
Yeah.
problem.
I mean, in these all issues, is Twitter the right place to air your grievances? Is it the right thing to do?
I think for them that's their last resort. So that's what I believe. I feel they feel they don't have any other option. And since we've not seen the contract, we can't tell what allows them. Yeah, you don't really get to know the full details of
Yeah.
what happened. But from what they say and from how they've reacted so far, it means the contract is something that is binding them.
But you know these artists and familiarism. Charlie, you are my paddy. I know
Yeah.
you're a music exec. Oh, just support me. Just put me on some interviews, plug me here and there. does it need contract? At what point should the contract be introduced? Because that's what happens. Like we go back to Black Sheriff too. You know what happened?
Exactly.
It was a
The
whole
100
buhaha.
shoes and all that.
I gave you shoes, dress. You see, is it that the Ghanaian artists or individuals that are trying to make it, and is it that they don't understand or they do over familiarism too much that it overwhelms them? What is it? Because you've been in the space for a long time. So what is causing it?
So you need to know the difference between help and business. That's the
Help
first.
and business.
Yeah, that's the first step.
Okay.
We have people that we help.
Okay.
An example would be, let's say, Safu Newman. When he came, I've helped him because in my mind it has nothing to do with business. I'm not in to receive any form of money or anything. But here's the thing: in case someone comes in and wants to sign Safu, and Safu wants me to do something, it becomes business.
Okay.
I'm not going to help him. I'm going to charge him.
Okay.
Because it has taken a turn from me helping
Yes.
to doing business.
Business.
Most of these boys, like you said, started as a movement.
Yeah.
But then it became serious. When it became serious, you were given a contract. That's when the contract comes in, because for you to get a bigger deal, you need to have a contract with every single one of them. I think it's the same thing happened to the Asaka boys.
Yeah.
It was a movement. But when they had the Empire deal,
Yes.
they all had to sign to Life Living Records to
Yeah.
make it professional.
Yeah.
And I think that's similar. That happened to Ground Up when they had the Platoon deal. They had to make sure that everything was it was no longer help; it was business. So that's when they should have also realized that it is business.
Yeah.
At least have someone. The thing is, the lawyer for Ground Up is definitely going to draft a contract that helps them to guide their back.
Yeah.
You get it? The lawyer is not going to do a contract that is benefiting Kwesi. It's going to benefit Ground Up.
Yeah.
So that's why Kwesi needs a legal representative to
To
also be like, oh, this one be too much. So I won't protect my artist too. So let's do this and this and this to also protect my artist. Then it makes sense.
I think outside it's so easy. Like Burna Boy picking Tony Braxton's song to the last. I mean, Tony was taking a higher portion and taking the songs, but and Burna was eating from her performance and everything. But I think here we have a problem. I wanted Kofi Jama's tweet to come back. Kindly please put it back. So a lot of things happening behind the scenes. That's the reason I haven't been able to release music for almost a year now. I know for sure that I let a lot of fans down, but believe me, I try. I'm in the clear now, and I'll show you of more music next year. Thanks for believing. You see, when they tweet something like this, like Harriet said, sometimes they don't really tell us what exactly is going on. But these things they tweet and everything, what repercussions or what impact, how is it affecting the industry? Because bear in mind, we want to move from local to global. And there are investors there that are watching
and reading.
us. So what kind of repercussions or impacts does it have on the industry?
Well,
Like you, like a music exec, when you meet with investors, what do they say?
well, it's problematic because in a way it makes it feel like the artists look ungrateful. But it's deeper than that, because you also need to know into details what the whole issue is.
Yeah.
Do you get like Jama's post like this? I don't know what Jama is going
With Gadwan Records.
Yeah, I don't know what Jama is going through. But if I look at Jama and Gadwan, I would say Gadwan has done a very great job with
Very
Jama.
good.
His biggest song was under Gadwan.
Yeah.
So what
I thought
happened
so.
within the label setting that changed the dynamics of Gadwan on Kofi Jama? And it's not like Gadwan has brought out any other artist since Jama. You get it. But it's for labels. It's like and this is not just a local occurrence. It happens across.
Consistent, like
It happens across the world.
Every day.
Artists and label issues. Every time it's about money. At the end, it's about money
about
because
money.
because they feel they deserve more than what they originally signed, forgetting that they didn't have anything when they signed. And I think we need to have orient these artists, and this should have been the role of music. This should have been the role.
Another whole issue
Of
together.
music to orient, let's say, their members to understand certain things, have workshops so that people understand how this business works. You get me? So that we have a level playing field. Because in as much as we also need investors here. We need people to invest in our music. And if they continue to see every day, this one did this, last made, Jama, this and this. It feels
Mr.
like
Drew.
these people. Mr.
Yeah.
Drew's contract ended.
Ended.
So that one there, it ran its course. So it's not a good look.
Yeah.
And I hope that we're able to resolve this. My issue is if you have a problem and it's legitimate, you can go to
Go
court.
to court.
Take it to court.
It's as simple as that. Well, for the ground up one, I heard that the arbitration should be done in London.
Yes.
But that's
And that is
That's
where
serious.
I'm also confused.
that's the contract they
How?
signed. So that's the contract
So
they
if
signed.
you are,
Wow.
if you are binding yourself to this kind of contract and then you come back with, but I mean,
Yes,
you're not there.
so-
But has it ever been a problem of creative vision where maybe I'm on a label and I feel my vision is not really being put out there? The record label is trying to impose certain things. My vision is not aligning with them. Has there been issues like that? Because every time it's money.
No, it's bound to happen because you are both different people, and the label too has its vision, and you two have a vision.
Yeah.
Hopefully, that's why when you have a discussion, you try and align.
Yeah.
But it can get to a point where they want to force you to do a certain kind of music because that's what is popping. That's what's going to bring the money in the long run.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
So they need to recoup. So it happens. It happens. a
So,
lot.
I mean, before we go, it's possible that an artist can release his songs not with a record label, but just maybe a publishing entity that will help, publish his songs.
Oh yes, artists can
It's
be.
better that way.
I won't
Do
say
you think?
I won't say it's better,
Okay.
but if you can afford to do it,
Yeah.
you can do it. Once you can pay the money, you be independent and own it. But if you can't pay, you need the people to put in the money.
Okay, we've been speaking to YAW BOADU-AYEBOAFOH. You know, it took me a long time to get your name right. Now I'm doing well. He's a music executive and we've been talking about artists and record label. We hope that this conversation will start something new. And like I said, he said it's music's job to do this.
to orient
we need
the
to
artists,
start,
yeah.
But then we too will do our part. We'll talk about today in there. Thank you very much for coming. Yeah. My name is Nanaya Tanoabuache and I did this with...
My name is Harriet Addy.
Okay, enjoy the rest of our programs. We'll see you when we see you.